Welcome back to part 2 of our journey into the Wayati Gorge. This part is going to be dedicated to us going downstream towards the mighty Red Waterfalls and potentially another big waterfall downstream. We're just leaving Pooali Falls at the moment, so have a look at part 1 if you haven't already. For the first half, whoops, and now we're clambering out the opposite side to what we came in, up this kind of fault line to pretty open surrounds with some awesome gorge views. I'll give you a look. The Pooali Falls is just in there. We came down that side, which is a bit nasty and scrubby. And then this side, a whole lot more open. And it's a really deep, rugged and impressive gorge. Big descent coming up here, but some of the views are amazing. There's world straight ahead, and pretty sure if we look very closely over here, Karen has picked it up very well, but that's Matt, Sarah, Jane, up there, and then right below it, I think we can see Angel Falls, which is kind of cool, given it feels like it's a very, very long way away. And then obviously Matt, and just with a bit of cloud still on the right. Anyways, down we go into the gorge. So we're looking in right there to the top of Red Waterfalls. The falls are just in there. Now we're going to be aiming at that spot there, basically because on top of the waterfall and all around the top is just all cliffs. So if we take the top of the falls, we're in a bit of a pickle. The other side of the creek looks more open, but it would be a longer way around. So we're going to have a crack at going straight down this way, down a bit of a gully, and then hopefully it provides us access down. There's a creek over there which kind of leads in towards the base of the falls. So we can always end up in the creek, worst case. But we'll see how we go. Well, who knows how long this lasts, but we've just broken through from the button grass, which is pretty scrubby and yuck. And this is the start of our descent. Very steep down there, but nice and open. Not horrendously scrubby. So if it stays like this, could be a lot better than we were potentially fearing. Okay, so we've come out to the side creek that flows in to Porra Creek, and there's actually a pretty decent little waterfall here. Not named, not even marked on the maps. Maybe Whirlpool Falls is a good name for it, because as you'll see in a second, there's a really nice whirlpool here for some long exposures. Really nice mossy kind of thing, and not far away at all from the big falls now. So in long exposure, that is going to become a really cool whirlpool. Just need the sun to go away first. And that's where we're going to be heading next. So we're just coming out of that creek we followed down for not very long at all, now at the main creek, and then if you just, not sure the camera picks it up very well, glimpsing through the trees, I can just see some free falling water. Looks pretty epic. Not far at all now. Well, we've made it to Red Waterfalls. What an incredible waterfall. 60 metres high according to my measurements, and just gorgeous. Sort of this interesting like chute thing into like a triple plunge, colourful red rock, easy to see how it gets its name, and then a nice little pool below as well, and a beautiful sunny day. Not great for photos, but a perfect weather to hang out in. Absolutely up there with the very, very best of Tasmania's wilderness waterfalls. Reminds me a lot of Rainbow Falls on Many Falls Creek, maybe just slightly smaller, but probably better flow of water. And yeah, so worth the effort. A day and a half of hiking, all for this. Definitely worth it. So we're just in Red Waterfalls. See Adrian there trying to get a bit through a bit of horizontal, and the falls behind. Now we're basically going to head up the other side of the creek, try and sort of contour our way up until we're going to hit some button grass at the top, and then we're going to try and head back down another gully to the lower falls. So that's the plan. Let's see how we go. Essentially now we're just sort of making our way slightly downhill. We're basically looking for a bit of a window in the cliffs, where there's pretty much cliffs everywhere around here leading down to the creek. There's a couple of points where there's like a little bit of a gap. You can only really see that gap on 1 or 2 meter contour maps, so definitely worth having one of those. Yeah. If you need to know how to like create those maps, you use LiDAR data, and I can send anyone a link to a video that explains how to do it. But just the 10 meter contour maps around here aren't really going to cut the mustard, because it's just all cliffs behind me there, so it's very hard to find where to go down without the right sort of a map. Touch wood, I think we found it. So this mini little gully here that goes, it's cliffs there and it's cliffs right here, so it's very much, you got to find this one little spot or else you're a bit screwed, but hopefully this is it, in which case we're going straight down there. After the really dicey, steep, unstable stuff at the top, becoming actually much more manageable further down. It's still very steep, but sort of ferny rainforest is almost pleasant walking compared to what we had further up, and getting little glimpses towards a really impressive looking waterfall through the trees, all lit up by the afternoon sun, so not too far away now. Well, I'm looking nice and sunburned, I've just noticed in the camera, but it's all worth it because we've made it to the final waterfall of the trip. Pooali Falls, 40-45 metre plunge. I have measured it was about in that band. Just a spectacular falls, very different in character to Redwater. It's just a single straight drop, but perhaps its best features are A, it's got a massive pool at the bottom, possibly the best swimming hole I've ever seen to fall in Tasmania. B, awesome rainbow. So I'm really enjoying taking some photos with the rainbow and falls. Check it out. So we're sat out here on what we thought was going to be a nice button grass plain, but it ended up being some shit bush bashing. And we've climbed about 220 metres now in 40 minutes since the falls, and it is grueling hiking. Pretty much 45 degrees up most of the time. But as you can see behind me, it's a bit flatter now. We're going to be heading up that ways to get out of the area of the gorge. And in the end, we'll have climbed from about 230 metres at the falls to about 850 metres at our camp, and then our car's back down at 350. So we've pretty much gone up the mountain and then down the mountain again, and then back up the mountain and down. So pretty grueling trip. Won't feel much on the way back to camp, but hopefully there's a few highlights. So we're all settled into camp now. Probably a little while ago actually we got here, but absolutely wrecked after one of the longest days of off-track hiking I've ever done, or we've ever done, to be honest. It was in the order of 16 kilometres. I think I'll flash the number on the screen, but it was a lot of kilometres and a lot of elevation. That was probably the main killer. Like, we probably end up climbing well over 1,000 metres in total for the day, but an incredible couple of waterfalls. Redwater and Pooali Falls were up there with the most spectacular falls I've ever seen in the wilderness, kind of like this, you know. To hike for 2 days to find a falls like that and 2 falls like that is very rewarding. Anyways, that's it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow for the quick jaunt out of here. Morning everyone, and welcome to the third and final day of the Wayati Gorge expedition. Today we're pretty much just retracing our steps from day one. Well, not pretty much, we're exactly retracing our steps from day one, heading back across the Jubilee Range and then down Mount Jubilee towards the car. I think it was about 11 k's on day one, so obviously it'll be the same today, but we have the advantage that we're going to be mostly going downhill. We're at about 900 metres now, we'll finish at 330. So yeah, today will probably mostly just be a speed run. Won't be much to film, I don't think. It's a mild morning, but very overcast. All the peaks are very much shrouded. See how we go. On the final 5k stretch back to the car. What an incredible trip this has been. Over 40 k's off track plus 10 kilometres on the road, so over 50 k's all up over 2.5 days. Probably the longest purely off track walk I've ever done. It was a very long way we covered, completely making our own tracks. Exceptionally impressive waterfalls. I don't reckon anyone's ever been to Pooali Falls. Happy for someone to correct me on that, but given it's not named, I'd be very surprised if people had been in there before and not actually tried to name it, because it's a humongous waterfall, as is Red Waterfalls, plus some other bonus ones along the way. Anyway, awesome mission. Thanks for joining me on it for the last 2 videos. I'll see you at the next one.